Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you've ever dreamt of speaking at conferences or meetups but aren't quite sure if you're ready for it, or if you've been scared to take that leap and apply to your first conference, or if you feel like you just quite don't have that expertise yet, this video is for you. I want to share my personal experience of speaking at conferences and offer you tips that can help you get started. Number one, finding the right topic. There are a few different ways of finding the right topic to speak about. Let's look at a few of them. You can share a project that you have recently worked on. You can draw upon your professional experiences and highlight lessons that you've learned. Oftentimes, you may have encountered difficult problems at your work, things you researched, the problems you overcame, and you can share details on how you approached the problem. Number two is discussing a tech that you have adopted. You can educate the audience on the benefits of a specific tech, an implementation, a real world application of a particular technology. An example of this is like, for example, speaking at RemixConf about how your company is adopting Remix. You can teach a 101 of something, break down a complex concept into some fundamentals, and provide a beginner friendly introduction to helping others to understand it. An example of this talk is Shonda's talk at React conference where she talked about server-side rendering. She broke down the whole concept into simple concepts that people can understand. These 101 type of talks are very popular in conferences, especially when a new technology is up and coming. You could talk about a topic that you are genuinely interested in and want to learn about. Fun fact, when I first started speaking at meetups, the first topic that I ever spoke about was progressive web apps. At the time when I proposed the idea, I had no idea what progressive web apps are. So I took 2 months to learn the topic and shared a 101 of what is progressive web app. Finally, you can present on a topic that you're already an expert in. You can showcase your deep knowledge and expertise, share best practices, common mistakes, common misconceptions. And this is great, especially if you've been working on a technology for a long time, or if you're maintaining an open source library or your core contributor. You will notice that talks like these from core contributors of libraries like React, Remix, and Angular will often be like this. Next, finding a conference or meetup to speak at. Once you have a topic in mind, it's now time to find the perfect platform to share it. It helps to narrow down your search in the field of tech you are targeting. If you're speaking about GraphQL, it would help if you propose your topic at a conference that targets on GraphQL talks, as opposed to a conference that talks more about general JavaScript knowledge. So pick your technology and then pick the conferences. Vice versa, if your talk is more general, broader conferences are more likely to accept your talk. There's 4 different ways you can find conferences and meetups. Number one, for meetups, meetup.com is very popular. There's meetups all over the world, and with meetup.com, you can filter based on the tech you're interested in, based on the location. And it's a great way to find meetups that happen locally and feature small and intimate crowds. Sessionize is a platform where conference organizers can submit their conference and call for proposals, and speakers and potential speakers can apply and find a conference that way. The next is staying active on Twitter. A lot of conferences, when they open call for proposals, they'll share on Twitter. I recommend doing a Twitter search on a technology and then adding conference in front of it, and you'll find a list of different Twitter accounts. So an example is looking up React conference, and you'll find a list of different conference accounts. It helps to follow these accounts, and when the call for proposals is open, you can apply for these conferences. Finally, Eventbrite, which is similar to meetup.com, but also another platform for finding different tech events. Eventbrite is great for finding conferences that happen online as well, and finding workshops in your area. The next process is submitting a call for proposals. When submitting a proposal to a conference, be sure to include a story as to why the audience would be interested in this topic. You can check out last year's talks and descriptions to kind of get a feeling of proposals that people have already written. Some places where you can submit your proposal is Sessionize and Papercall. These platforms also allow you to submit your talk at multiple conferences at the same time. When submitting a talk, think of the call for proposals as a trailer of the talk. When an audience member is looking looking at your talk, what do you think they would want to take away from it? You want to share a problem that you've solved, or you want to share a topic that they might be interested in. Your talk's title and description is like a trailer of the show. A template that I like to use for CFP is a problem statement audience may have encountered, why this problem matters, and how this talk will give them the solution to fix this problem. You can also include what we'll cover, something like a live demo, example, video, theory, etc. Next is creating your talk. You've secured your speaking engagement, you know the topic you're going to speak about, and now it's time to prepare the slides, the hard part. I like to work backwards from the big talk. First, think about the story you want to tell. Your job is to serve the audience and teach them something. Work on the meat of the story first. This will ensure that you spend most of the time building the most important part of the story first. Don't worry about template, designs, font, anything for now. If your talk is for 25 minutes, the content should roughly be 5-minute intro and warm up and setup and a quick recap of problem statement, 15 minutes for the main story, and then 5 minutes conclusion, what's next, how to find you, outro, all of that stuff. When you're creating the slides, keep your points big and visible and ensure that your points or key takeaways can be easily seen from a distance, and make sure you're using enough contrast in the font so that if you're in a dark background, your fonts can stand out from the dark background. Oftentimes, slides look better on computer than they do look on a projector. So on the day off, I also recommend doing a dry run to make sure that your colors still work well with the projector and the screens. I'm going to put a blog post where I'll talk in detail about creating slides and making sure slides look good. But in brief, make sure you write less text and avoid putting too much text on the slides. Your slides should just be a companion to what you are saying, but the main focus is you. Utilize visual cues, memes, charts, diagrams can help enhance understanding and engagement. Ensure that your sections connect with each other and the story flows well. And you can also anticipate common questions and try to answer them within the presentation itself in a frequently asked questions, or maybe just keep that as a slide in your appendix section. Next section is how to prepare a talk. Now that your slides are ready, let's focus on preparing yourself and delivering a great talk. Here are some crucial steps to consider when you're preparing to give your talk. Practice is the most important thing. The more you practice, the better you'll get at being comfortable with the content and the better muscle memory you'll develop. Present your topic multiple times at multiple different crowds. This will give you an idea of, number one, how your audience perceives your content. Number two, getting familiar with speaking in front of strangers. And number three, anticipating questions people may ask and getting feedback on your slides itself. It often helps to watch YouTube videos of other talks as well and learning from other speakers on how they're doing. One thing that I love to learn from others is their slide templates, the animations, the text size, the text colors, the fonts, and how well they are practicing timing of their content. When you're practicing giving the talk, practice maintaining eye contact and smiling. Practice walking on the stage. Practice pausing a minute to deliver the main topic, to deliver the main point of your slide. Practice reading the audience's reaction. Finally, getting on the stage. The moment has arrived, the one that you've been waiting for so long. You're going to be stepping on the stage. I know that you're going to be nervous at this point. I am too. And so here are some tips to help you manage the stress and anxiety. First, breathe. You made it. After the next 25 minutes, you're going to feel amazing. You're going to want to get back up on that stage and do it all over again. So enjoy this time. Remember, even if you forget anything, it's okay. Because you know that you forgot, but the audience doesn't. They are rooting for you. They want you to do an amazing job. They're there to support you. So even if you mess up, it's okay. Just backtrack. For me, especially because when I get up on the stage, I get nervous and anxious and sometimes I run a blank. I like to write speaker notes, something that I can look at if I'm stuck and get back on what I wanted to talk about. Again, practicing your talk multiple times helps a lot because you've already developed the muscle memory on what you're going to say next. So practice a lot, but also put speaker notes in your presentation itself. A lot of softwares like Keynote and PowerPoint will have speaker notes at the bottom of the slides. And when you're presenting up on the stage, you can have the presenter mode in Keynote, which allows you to see the current slide, the upcoming slide, the speaker notes, and timer. And I find that really useful. And the audience sees the main slide. So this helps you get back on track in case you lose your train of thought. I like to start with a light topic as well. Every time I get up on the stage, I share a dev joke. It lightens up the audience's mood and eases my nerves. And it's a hack. And you can use something similar. If you're in an international location, it also helps to share a little story about you, story about where you came from, or how this is the first time you're visiting that country, something to connect with the audience. And make eye contact and smile. You can establish a connection with the audience by looking at different sections of the audience, engaging with individuals, and making them feel involved. A great way to make the audience feel involved is by having questions for the audience. I often like to do this where I'll start off my talk by asking dev joke questions. But then throughout the talk, I'll also ask people questions like, how many of you have used React? Please raise your hands. And that gets the audience a chance to interact with you and feel included in the talk. Finally, finishing your talk and getting ready to speak at more. Congratulations on successfully delivering your talk. You did great. But the journey doesn't end there. Here's how you can make the most of your speaking engagement. Now that you're done speaking, go ahead and talk to audience members. Ask them how they liked your talk. If there was anything that stood out. If there's any feedback for you. Keep working on your craft. You can reuse your talk at other conferences as well. Keep revising and keep applying. Apply to other conferences, share on Twitter. It's always a great idea to share your slides at the end of your conference talk as well. And there you have it. I hope these tips were valuable for you, prepare you for your next conference. Remember, you have a unique voice, you have a unique opinion, and you have a unique perspective on a specific tech, even if that tech is saturated. So go out there, try it out, and give your first talk, and let me know how it went. If you like videos like this, please subscribe and support my channel. Thank you so much for watching.